Good evening. It's 6 o'clock on Monday, May 16th. Welcome and thank you for joining us tonight for the English edition of Aura News, where we bring you today's top stories translated into English every weeknight. The phone tapping issue has caused many reactions from the heads of Albanian state institutions. The President of the Republic of Albania expressed his conviction that the tapping equipment exists here in Albania, and he asked for thorough investigations from the prosecution. It is now confirmed that illegal tapping equipment exists. It is an unconstitutional instrument which represents a big concern for our society. I call the prosecution to defend the dignity of the state and of the citizens. The prosecution should defend our national security. I officially call them to investigate the process and procedure of how this equipment was brought into Albania. The prosecution needs to investigate who has allowed entrance of this equipment without the prosecution's authorization. The equipment has violated the integrity of both institutions and of citizens. I call the institutions that are hampering the investigations to stop impeding the implementation of the law, said the President. Meanwhile, the Minister of Interior admitted the existence of the equipment, which he states is used for training and has nothing to do with tapping. There is an ongoing training based on an agreement signed in 2007, which provides that the Albanian and Italian polices exchange experience for the best methods of investigating crime, especially terrorism. Within this framework, the state police are being trained exactly in the same way as police were trained before I became the minister. I want to emphasize that it's not about the tapping equipment, it's a normal equipment for the work of state police, said the Minister of Interior. But the Minister of Justice was harsh when speaking about the possibility of the existence of the equipment, asking the prosecution to take action immediately and seize it. The debate over the existence of phone tapping equipment within the state police has sparked debates and discussions in the Parliamentary Commission of National Security. The opposition members considered it to be a historic scandal, expressing their conviction that the state police have taped the opposition, journalists, and businessmen. The Democrats asked for a thorough investigation of the issue and called the Minister of Interior, the State Police Director, the State Informative Service Director, and the Prosecutor General to report in the Commission. The Democrats considered the tapping to be a major scandal and a serious violation. Meanwhile, the Socialist members of the Commission were not against the request of the Democrats, but feel that the heads of public service institutions cannot be called into the Commission based only on the media information. The majority members asked the opposition to officially ask for more information concerning the issue. As Parliament members debated the issue, the Socialist members abandoned the Commission meeting, claiming that calling the Minister of Interior, the Prosecutor General, the head of State Informative Service, and the State Police Director is a regulation violation. A few minutes later, the Socialist members softened their stance, agreeing the regulation should be respected, but maintained that calling the institution heads to report is important. The Socialist Movement for Integration supported the request of the Democratic Party, but according to the SMI MP Luan Rama, the hearing should start with the head of State Informative Service. He added that the consequences of such a scandal would not affect only the Ministry of Interior. In the absence of the Socialist MPs, the members of the Socialist Movement for Integration and of the Democratic Party agreed on calling the institution heads to report in the Commission of National Security. The Democratic Party chairman also reacted to the phone tapping issue, speaking without doubt that the equipment really exists and that the state police have it. According to the DP chairman, the state police have tapped the opposition, the media, and businesses. He considers the act to be a criminal proof of a mafia state. A state crime has been happening illegally with the approval of Edi Rama for several months. Police have tapped senior state leaders, parties leaders, diplomatic corps, bank, and citizens. Police have officially admitted that they have the equipment. We need transparency over this political and criminal scandal. It is a political, moral, and social emergency, not only for the Democratic Party and the opposition, but also for the whole political media and social spectrum in the country. Edi Rama should be held responsible for tapping the president, the opposition, the heads of institutions, the MPs, the ambassadors, the journalists, and the citizens, said the DP chairman, considering tapping to be on top of the government scandals. Even though the Minister of Interior told the journalists that no phone tapping is happening, he previously denied the existence of the equipment during a meeting of the Socialist Party Parliamentary Group. Sources within the SP Parliamentary Group meeting told Aura News that the Minister of Interior has denied any phone tapping, declaring that the equipment is used for training and not for tapping. It is also learned that the Socialist Parliamentary Group has agreed to the Democratic Party request that institutions like State Informative Service provide transparency of information over this issue. Meanwhile, the Prime Minister Edi Rama did not comment on the issue, neither in the meeting of the SP Group nor outside the Socialist Party headquarters after the meeting when asked by journalists. Later, he posted a short status on the social accounts, saying that apart from the big concern over the justice reform, now the Democratic Party thinks it is being tapped. Article 25 of the Justice Reform, which provides for the investigation of any ministers from the last 3 years, has been changed. The article was proposed by Optat and Euralis experts, but the majority and the opposition members agreed today in the meeting of the ad hoc commission on investigating every former minister. The Socialist MP Maiko considered the proposal of Optat and Euralis experts to be a technical mistake, as he warned of surprises from the investigation of corrupt officials and former officials. Meanwhile, the Democrats are still not satisfied with the structure of the new justice system, declaring that the main aim of the reform is to guarantee a fast and efficient justice for the citizens, which, according to them, is not provided by this structure. In today's meeting of the Ad Hoc Commission on Justice Reform, the parties discussed the chapter on courts. After more than 5 hours of discussions, they closed the judiciary chapter, agreeing only on technical points, leaving the political points to be discussed in another moment. The Assembly Speaker, Ilir Meta, is visiting Washington. He said that the government is working to increase the range of agricultural products made in Albania, putting the emphasis on agriculture as a priority sector for the economic development. Mr. Meta made the statement during a meeting held at the Department of Agriculture and Food in the U.S., where he was received by the administrator of the Foreign Agricultural Service, Philip Karsting. The Assembly Speaker emphasized that the improvement of the sterilization and preparation of medicinal plants will increase Albania's export capacity in the U.S. market. During meetings in the U.S. Congress, Meta also met with the chairman of the Vice Commission for Agriculture, Congressman Robert Adderholt. Seeking support for agricultural products, Mr. Meta asked the congressman for the removal of double taxation and the recognition of the social contributions of citizens who work in both countries. Meanwhile, Adderholt vowed to increase bilateral exchanges in the field of agriculture. We had a very fruitful meeting where we discussed various agricultural issues and the ways that Albania and the U.S. can cooperate more in this regard. We discussed many issues related to agricultural development and cooperation in the future, Adderholt said. The Albanian soprano Ermanela Jaho has won the International Opera Award. This award can be considered the Oscar of the opera world. The Albanian soprano was given the award at the Savoy Theatre in London. Jaho triumphed over other international opera singers, receiving the most votes from the international public. The public esteemed her performance, applauding her for several minutes. After receiving the award, the Albanian soprano thanked her fans, especially her Albanian fans. "I want to thank all my fans all over the world, and especially those in Albania, for their support and love. Whoever dedicates their life towards the passion is always a winner. I love you all," she wrote on her social accounts. This is the first time an Albanian soprano has won this important prize of opera music. That's all for our English edition this evening. Please join us again Monday through Saturday at 6 p.m. for your local news in English. My name is Mari, and on behalf of Aura News, thank you and good night.